There we go, guys. We are live on my iPhone for the very first time. I thought I saw somebody in the chat already. I'm going to turn it around this way, guys. So why am I going live and why am I doing it about coronavirus when this is a sneaker channel, right? That's what people are thinking. So there's a lot of reasons for this. But before I do that, I wanted to explain, just a word about what I'm doing here. I'm shooting on my iPhone, which I always shoot on, so I can't see the screen. If I want you to see me, I can't see the screen. But if I turn it around, I can see the screen, and then you can't see me, which is maybe a good thing. But what I wanted to do was to sort of show people what's going on in Tokyo, Japan right now, especially in terms of the coronavirus. I think people are worried about the coronavirus and worried about what life in Japan is like right now. And this is a great way to start the video right here, because you've got a father and his son playing catch. So that might give you a little sort of perspective on what people think of coronavirus in Japan right now. Here's a guy right here doing Tai Chi. So it's not, the city hasn't shut down. Tokyo City has not shut down. We're still here. The city is not frozen. Everything's going fine. People are healthy. People are fine. So I wanted to do a live about the coronavirus because, like I said, people are worried. People are concerned, and I'm worried about what the image is out there, what people are thinking out there about Tokyo and about Japan and things like that. Of course, the coronavirus is a concern for many people, and it's something that we should be concerned about. It's not something that we should just ignore. But also, I feel like news is sensationalizing things a little bit. So, and another thing that I wanted to say right at the top of this video is one of the reasons I'm making this video is because I got, as a content creator for YouTube, I got a message from YouTube that said coronavirus content will not be monetized, and because of that message from YouTube, that's why I thought, you know what, I am going to make a video about coronavirus. I don't like price gouging, I don't like clickbait, I don't like people using somebody else's difficulty to make money, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't talked about coronavirus on my videos at all. Even though I do daily videos, I haven't talked about the coronavirus at all, because I don't want to be seen to be making money off of other people's misfortune, and I just don't think profiteering and things like that are a good standard for us to set in society. So when I got that message from YouTube that said the coronavirus stuff will not be monetized, you will not be able to make money off of this, I was like, well, then in that case, yes, I will make a video or two about the coronavirus and what it's like to be here in Tokyo, Japan. Now, as I said, if you've just joined the chat, or if you're there, sending me comments and stuff, but I'm not replying. I'm on my iPhone, so right now you can see me, which I'm sure you're thrilled about. But that means I can't see the screen. But if I turn the screen around and you can't see me, then I can see the chat and see what people are saying in the chat and stuff like that. So it's a bit difficult for me to do it this way. And I don't know if I want to do it with me facing out the way like this, so that you guys can see the world and see Tokyo and see that everything's still fine, life's still going on. Or if you'd rather see me chatting away, I'm not sure which. But what I will do for anyone who's watching this after is I'll tell you that right there is Tokyo Sky Tree, which is the second tallest building in the world. And if you want to get an idea of how central to Tokyo we are, that's how close Tokyo Sky Tree is, which does mean that we are right in central Tokyo. So this is definitely center. This is definitely the right in the middle of the city. It's not like we're way far away from the center of things. So and just another person right here. I don't know if I can zoom in or not. This is the first time I've ever gone live on a phone, so I'm not sure how this is going to work out, but there's a person right there in the park. It's 8 o'clock in the morning right now. There's a person right there doing Tai Chi. So you can tell, like, life is still going on, and that we've still got people living their lives, doing their thing, doing their daily routines and stuff like that. Nature hasn't stopped either, because right here you can see the cherry blossoms are just about to start to kick in, which is obviously a big season for those of you who know something about Japan. The cherry blossom trees are about to kick in as well. And something I wanted to mention, I thought this would be a good place to shoot the live video
and to give people perspective on what's going on here in Tokyo, Japan. Because over here, let me see if I can get a good shot. If I'll go round this cherry blossom, it's not quite in full bloom. You can see they're sort of getting on the way to full bloom, but this here is the highway. Again, I'll try and zoom in on it. There's the highway up there. You can see the trucks and the cars going by, and this is Arakawa River right there. So the trucks and the cars going by on the highway. And again, I mean, I think people might have this image of Tokyo, Japan being kind of like, you know, like the coronavirus has frozen the city and shut the city down and stuff like that. And the sensational news out there that maybe gives people an impression of what's going on here in Japan. And I thought, you know what, let's get out there and actually show people that life is still kind of continuing. You've got the trucks and the cars going across the highway up there. There's a bus going by, you know, people doing their daily routines, people working, people traveling. It's a Saturday morning, so these guys, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. It's about 7 degrees, a bit chilly, I have to admit. There's a boat coming by on the river down below. Here's a guy down here jogging along the riverside. It's a very popular jogging spot here. I think just around the corner as well, you'll see a guy just coming right here who's a cyclist out for his morning cycle. So yeah, I just wanted to dispel that image that, you know, the city was in shutdown or the city was in lockdown. Wanted to kind of get rid of that idea that you know, like that things are going badly in Tokyo, Japan. You know, things are not going badly in Tokyo, Japan. There are concerns. We are worried about things. 2 days ago, the Prime Minister made an announcement that he wanted the schools across the entire country to shut down. And I work in education, so it was a bit of a surprise to have him do that. And it gave us 1 day to prepare our school and our community for that. So that was a challenge, but a challenge that we met, and we met well, without any panic and without any undue concern. So but that's the kind of the major sort of talking point about the coronavirus right now, is that the schools are being shut down and closed for at least, I think it's about 4 weeks. It depends on the school and the area, because what they're talking about is the rest of this term and into spring break, and then after spring break they'll reassess the situation and decide whether to come back after the spring break and come back and have schools start again after the spring break. So that's probably the major talking point as far as the coronavirus is concerned right now here in Tokyo. I think at the moment there have been about 100 cases maybe, or 200 cases across the country, if you discount the cruise ship that's docked in Yokohama, down at Yokohama there. And deaths within the country, again not connected to that cruise ship, is about 5 at the moment. So there is concern out there. There are worries out there that this is going to become something more than it is. But right now, people are still doing their morning Tai Chi. People are still out for their morning jog and out for their morning run. The city's still moving. Saturday morning is still Saturday morning here in Tokyo, Japan, even though there are concerns about the coronavirus and things like that. So that's the state of things at the moment, right now. This is live, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to go live as well, was because I wanted to be authentic about it. I didn't want this to come off as a video that I'd prepared what I was going to say, you know, and I don't know, I wanted it to be factual. I wanted it to feel real, and I thought being live would make it feel real and more authentic than just doing a video, like shooting a video in my house or my apartment or something like that, or shooting a video outside like this, but having it be sort of pre-planned and things like that. But because it's live, I feel like, you know, I can't edit this. It is exactly what I say and exactly when I say it, and you know, I can't pretend, you know, I can't fake it that there are still cars driving on the highway there. I'm not going to wait until a moment when there are cars there and pretend like the highway is busier than it is, or wait for a boat to go by on the river like it did just now. So I think it gives you guys out there a more authentic perspective on what really is going on right now in Tokyo, Japan, and hopefully that means that you'll basically trust what I'm saying. It's kind of, that's what it boils down to. It boils down to trust. It boils down to you guys trusting that what I'm saying in this video and my perspective on coronavirus and my perspective from Tokyo, Japan on coronavirus is something you can trust. It's not being hyped up. It's not for clickbait or for
profiteering purposes, because like I said at the top of the video, YouTube will not allow people to profit off of coronavirus content, and that's actually one of the reasons why I chose to make this video. So yeah, hopefully that means it's authentic, it feels authentic to you guys, and it's something you can trust.
I'm going to flip the camera around again, just see if anybody's in the chat or anything like that. I think there's a couple of people watching just now. And again, that's Tokyo Skytree right there, so that you know that we're centre of Tokyo. We're not far away from the centre of things. And you can see just down here, we're on top of a sort of bridge. The bridge goes underneath the road. The road goes underneath me right here, and you can see traffic kind of moving on there. So I mean, even that intersection right there, lots of cars. It's about 8, let me look at the clock. It's 8:10 in the morning, Saturday, February 29th, 8:10 in the morning. Plenty of traffic on the roads, plenty of people going around their daily work, their daily business and stuff like that.
So it's so yeah, so the city's doing fine, but now that isn't to say that there aren't worries out there, and there are worries out there. I'm actually worried about a couple of things in terms of coronavirus. One in terms of Japan, but the other in terms of the international situation. And if we go with the international situation first, the thing that worries me the most is that the coronavirus has started to move into the international community in places where they have weak health care. And in particular, I'm talking about places like Iran, and I'm talking about Africa. As far as I know, at the current time, there are 2 countries in Africa that have the coronavirus there, which is Algeria and Nigeria, I think. I hope I'm not wrong in saying that. And as far as I know, they both only have 1 case at the moment. And again, that's my latest knowledge at 8 o'clock on Saturday, February 29th morning. That might have changed. Maybe there have been more cases overnight that I don't know about. But I'm worried about it getting into Africa, and what the implications will be of it getting into Africa, where their health systems aren't as strong as in other places in the world, and therefore the virus will spread quicker and to a larger percentage of the population. And my concern in that is that it'll end up actually coming back to the Far East where I am. At the moment, it seems to be kind of contained here. You're talking about hundreds of cases per country, which in the grand scheme of things isn't too much. It's not that major a concern if you've got a few hundred people sick in your country of 130 million people. Percentage wise, that's not a major concern. You've got it contained and you've got it controlled. But then if it gets into countries where they cannot do that, they don't have the infrastructure to do that, they don't have the money to do that, they don't have the health resources to do that, then that is a concern. And then it might end up coming back here in a bigger way. So my eyes right now are actually on Iran and on Africa. That's the 2 places that I'm kind of keeping an eye on, rather than Japan and rather than the Far East and rather than China itself, because that's where my concern is. My concern is those countries that is going to be more of a challenge to them, and there it will spread quicker to more people, and then spread out from those countries and come back again to the Far East. So that's my kind of concern externally. My concern internally for Japan itself is I'm kind of worried about what's going to come next. I really feel like we're on the cusp. We haven't kind of got into the real main part of this problem yet. I think we're at the start of it, or we're at the end of the beginning. You know that saying about we're not at the end, we're not at the beginning of the end, we're at the end of the beginning, or something like that. I feel like we're at the end of the beginning. This thing's just started, and we're kind of at the end of it. And something's coming in the next couple of days, or the next week or so. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like we could be on the verge of this getting quite big and quite challenging. Now, the reasons that I think that are, one is because they did make a government mandated decision to close all of the schools, and I'm not sure, they haven't really given much reason why. They've said it's for the health of the children and things like that, but they haven't actually said what they hope to achieve by closing the schools. And I'm wondering if there's something that they know at government level that they aren't actually sharing with us, that the projections for a number of new cases or for the spread of this virus or something in the weeks and months ahead is actually a major concern, so they're trying to preempt that by closing down the schools. But they haven't said that. What they've said on the news is they said, for the health of the children, let's close all the schools. So I'm kind of concerned about that. But the other thing that concerns me is we're just right now, literally the last day or two, we're just starting to see the very first few cases of shortage of supplies. That's a major concern. We're just right now starting to see shortages of supplies, especially I think the first thing that really has, well, I mean, that's not true now that I think about it. The very first thing that, I'm kind of laughing about it, but the very first thing that really went in the supply chain was masks. And I don't think that's a surprise to anybody who watches this to hear that in Tokyo, Japan, there have been shortages of masks. You might have seen some video content from Korea, especially. Somebody did a drone video of people lining up to buy masks, and it looked like the line was about 1 kilometer long. It was quite intense. And even yesterday on the news, there was a massive line in front of a department store where everybody could buy 1 pack of masks, 1 pack per person. So yeah, the shortages of masks is well documented and well known. So if we keep that aside, let's forget about the shortages of masks, because that's, I think, specific to Asia, where masks are seen as a major way to combat the spread of illness. And I'm not saying I necessarily agree with that. And I'm not going to get into that because it's controversial, and I'm not a doctor or a scientist, and I don't have a position to make a judgment about how effective masks are at stopping the spread of disease. So I will not, get drawn into making a statement about the efficacy of masks and the coronavirus. But I do know for a fact that supply lines are very dry in terms of masks, and also in terms of things like hand washes and alcohol sanitizers and things like that. But that's not what concerns me. I think that's just a sort of natural reaction of this society, a society that's very clean, a society that prides itself on cleanliness, a society which, when there are concerns about health, are very quick to react here in Tokyo, Japan. Especially flu season. It's often in the flu season that people are very careful about washing hands, about covering their mouth when they cough, and things like that. And then when there is something that's a concern out there, people are very quick to stock up on things like masks and sanitizers and things like that. So to me, that is not an indication of concern for Tokyo, Japan. I do not think the lack of masks, the lack of hand sanitizers, the lack of alcohol wipes, things like that, is an indication of a major concern. But what I do think is an indication of a major concern is that they're starting to run out of toilet paper. And the reason that's a concern to me is because it's not specifically connected to health or it's not something you would say, coronavirus toilet paper, you know what I mean? It's sort of a secondary, if you like, symptom of the society struggling with the coronavirus. And if they're starting to run out of things like toilet paper, I'm wondering if that means we're going to have shortages of food. Are the shelves going to start to empty? Are people going to start to stockpile food and things like that? Is that what's going to be coming down the line? And that's really where my main concern is right now for here in Japan, is what's going to happen in terms of the supply chain, the supply of things like food and medical supplies and household supplies, toiletries and things like that. So, and that's the two reasons why I'm kind of concerned here in Tokyo, Japan, is because they've closed the schools, but they really haven't explained why, other than a very general, it's for the safety of the kids, which is not, I don't think they make decisions on those kind of general terms. They have more and deeper reasons for doing that. And also because supplies are starting to run out in a more general way rather than the specific to do with health or to do with coronavirus or to do with infection way. So with those two things, that's why I think we're on the cusp of something. I think we're on the start. I said we're at the end of the beginning, and we're moving into the sort of main element of this situation, and we'll see where cases go in the next few weeks, if they are going to truly be able to control this, but then also looking externally to places like Africa and Iran, if they are able to control it there, and stop it from coming back to places like Japan or Korea or China. They're my two sort of main concerns about that. I'm going to flip the camera just for a second
So I can see the screen and see what's going on, see a couple of people watching. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you for liking the video. I should mention that. It's something in lives that I forget to do. Now, I had planned to be online for about 30 minutes just to, like I said, to give that perspective from Tokyo, Japan, but also if you missed the start of this this live, that we are, you know, very central. There's Tokyo Skytree there. We are very central to Tokyo, Japan right now, and very central to the situation in terms of coronavirus. But life has continued. Life has continued as normal. Nobody seems to be, you know, there's a guy over there riding his bicycle. It doesn't seem like the city is stopping in any particularly major way yet. I've heard of reports from places like Seoul and places like Singapore, places like that, where they're concerned about, they're very concerned. They've shut the cities down in southern Korea, not Seoul itself, but in southern Korea. I think it's called, is it Daegu or something like that? Shanghai, I don't know the name of the city in southern Korea. I think that the streets are basically empty. I've heard that Singapore streets are quite empty there too, but here in Japan, here in Tokyo, you can see with the highway up there and the cars traveling on it. We started this video with a father and his son playing catch in the park, which I thought really captured the sort of element and the sort of understanding here of what we need to do in terms of this right now. Now the situation might change, the situation might grow, the cases might grow. In Korea, the number of cases have been growing quite significantly, quite quickly. I did hear from a friend yesterday who's not a medical professional, who has no connection to the coronavirus, what's the word I'm looking for, the coronavirus sort of solution team. I can't think of the words to describe it, but no connection to coronavirus. This is just a friend who has been to Korea. That's her only justification for being able to make a statement about Korea. But what she said was that she'd heard that one of the reasons why there's so many cases in Korea is because they have one of the best medical systems in the world to process the cases quickly, whereas other countries in the world can't process the data as fast as they can in Korea, and that's why it looks like a spike in cases, but actually what it is efficiency and a speed, responsive speed of their healthcare system being quite prime, so that's one of the reasons why Korea has a lot of cases and appears to have more cases than other places. It's not actual more cases, just quicker at processing the medical data and the medical tests and things like that, the results and things like that. So and that is a thing to bear in mind. I think that's one of the things people say about Iran, is that because they don't have the infrastructure there, their infrastructure has been terribly compromised for the last 2 years, and I'll leave that semi-political statement hanging, so they don't have the responsiveness to deal with it, and that's why their numbers are so low. Is not because there is a low number of cases in the country, just because there's a low pace or speed at which they can handle the medical decisions and the medical processes necessary to handle the coronavirus. Whereas in Korea, very fast, very modern, very well-funded health infrastructure and general infrastructure, and so one of the reasons potentially why they have so many cases in Korea is just because of the sheer volume with which they can process them, rather than the actual comparative number of cases compared to other places. So but yeah, all that aside, here we are in Tokyo, Japan. I'm getting ready to sort of finish up this video. I started at the top of this video talking about how one of the reasons why I decided to go live and talk about coronavirus was because the YouTube said we wouldn't get monetized, content creators like myself wouldn't get monetized for doing corona videos. And I think what the YouTube saw that as was a sort of like a hope to slow people down and stop people making content because of all this sensationalized content out there. But I took that as you know, go ahead and make content about it, because one of the things is I don't want to use my channel to profit off of people's loss and people's challenging situations and things like that. So I don't want to profit off of the coronavirus. So I took it actually as a plus
that YouTube would not be monetizing this video, which I appreciate. I don't have a problem with. And it's a bit like with Kobe Bryant. My channel is usually about sneakers. In fact, it's about sneakers every day. So it's more than usually about sneakers. But when Kobe Bryant sadly passed away, I didn't make a video about it because I didn't want to profit off of his tragic situation. And I didn't feel like I had the authority to talk about it because I don't know basketball as well as many people out there, and I would have been talking on the very limit of my understanding, shall we say. So, and it was the same with this, the same kind of idea with this. I didn't want to profit off of what is a difficult situation. There's a lot of people out there who are scared and concerned about what's going on in their own countries and here in Tokyo, Japan. But since YouTube sent out that kind of notice to content creators that content like this will not be monetized, that actually gave me the confidence to go ahead and actually make it, because I think it's important that people see the real situation. This is Tokyo, the dead center of Tokyo. Let me go around this way. Let me go around that way. I think my battery's about to run out, so let me go around this way just to, again, to stress that we're in the center of Tokyo, and you're getting real life Tokyo Skytree right there. You're getting real life. This is Tokyo right now, live from Tokyo. These are just real normal people. There's a dude doing some exercises in the park. These are normal people with their normal daily routines, people driving on the highway on their way to oh my goodness, one of my viewers just said they're in quarantine right now. I hope you're kidding. But the cities, there's a guy running by the river just down there. They're having a little run by the river. There's a cyclist out for his daily cycle. Tokyo, Japan is not frozen. Tokyo, Japan is not shutting down. So, but what is shutting down is my iPhone. I'm running out of juice on my phone, and because I can't see the screen, I can't tell when the battery's going to go dead. It sucks. I thought I had 100% of my battery, but maybe it drains fast on live. It's the first time I've gone live on my phone outdoors. So, but yeah, what I wanted to do was I wanted to give you the real, authentic live from Tokyo. This is the real situation. No, there's no media involved in this. There's no cover up or whatever, or sensationalization of this. This is just my local park, me walking around it. Now it's about 8:25 in the morning. Regular people going around their daily routines on a Saturday morning. It's about 8 degrees, so it's kind of chilly. And I wanted to just give people that view of the reality of Tokyo right now, with Tokyo Skytree behind me just here. People just going around their daily lives. But yes, I am concerned about what's going to come next and where things are going to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this around again and just check my front side out again, just see there's no more comments left for me to do. So there's a couple more minutes left to run on this. Like I said, I wanted to do 30 minutes from Tokyo, Japan about this. Actually, I won't do it because people in Japan are kind of very sensitive about being, on digital media. But the guy right here behind me here, he's the first person that I've seen with a mask on this morning. So there might have been other people with masks on in the video and I didn't notice it, but that guy, he's just past me on the right there, is the first guy I've seen with a mask on this morning. So a guy playing catch with his son, boats on the river, cars on the highway, driving either to work or going out for a Saturday morning to do something with your family. People exercising in the park, Tai Chi in the park, people out for a morning jog, people cycling, morning exercise, and people like me just wandering around doing what they want to do. The city is fine right now. Everybody is fine right now. There is concern about the coronavirus. People are worried about it, but the city is not in shutdown. We are not in quarantine. We are fine. But we are concerned about what will come. And those two things, like I said, that Iran and Africa situation, whether that's going to blow up there and then come back to us again in the Far East, and also supplies. The fact that toilet paper is now hard to get your hands on here is a concern to me too. So, but for now, I think I'm going to shut this one down, guys. Thank you very much if you tuned in now. Thank you very much if you're tuning in later to watch this. I probably will do this often because I think this is going to be a very quick situation. I think a lot of things are going to change. It's going to be very fluid, and a lot of things are going to change very quickly. Even in the last 2 days at work, we've had multiple different messages from the government about how to deal with this on a daily basis, which is unusual. Governments usually take months, weeks and months to process things, and they're processing things on a daily basis. So there's a lot going on out there right now, and I think it's going to change quickly, which means I might check in quite often on these live videos, probably in the morning, which is a bit chilly because it is the end of February here, so we're still in the last end of winter, and like I said, it's about 7 or 8 degrees, which is about 45-50 degrees Fahrenheit. But yeah, I'll leave you guys. I'm gonna leave you guys. Thank you guys for checking out the content. Thank you for checking in. If you're looking for those sneakers that I do every single day, they'll still be there, and I'll still be doing my sneaker videos later on today. But for now, it's time for me to sign off from Tokyo, Japan. Thank you guys for checking out my content. But as I do this every single day, that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.